Welcome to Liverpool 12th Man Show. I'm the Liverpool 12th Man, and today we are going to be doing a Luton Town prediction or Luton Town preview show. I have my compadre Brian in the house. Pick up Brian. I'm gonna bring you in. How you doing?
Hey, how are you? Just in time there, yeah.
Yeah, just in time. Just in time. Big up to Dustin. Big up to Red for life. I see you. When the Reds, that's for sure. When the Reds go marching in. But yes, we're going to be doing a quick little lineup. We're going to be doing a little predicted lineup, basically, and we're also going to be dealing with some of who we think is going to be on the score sheet today, and what we have as predictions. Right up, somewhat of a. I like to do these lead-ins to the game because, you get the predictions in, and then we can obviously we can see in real time if we got any of our predictions right, and because with the injuries and everything else, and the way Klopp has been making substitutions this year and rotations, who knows? Sometimes you're gonna say who knows what we're gonna be seeing today, but I don't know. Maybe you have a little bit better read on this. I know Brian might say the same as well. But how are you feeling about today, Brian?
In terms of that team there, yeah, I reckon kind of picks itself with only really the only one I see is kind of does he want to go with player X for the cup final or player Y for tonight or vice versa. I think the rest of it, I think he'll go pretty strong.
Okay.
And by strong, I think he'll go with there's only one kind of coin toss that I see, and it won't be kind of better or worse. It'll just be I want him tonight, and I want him on Sunday, or I want him tonight, I want him on Sunday.
Right. Okay, well then, you know what? I'm gonna just jump right into it because I know normally the lineups usually get released about an hour before game time.
That's the official time, yeah.
Yeah, and we have about half an hour to go into that, and I already put together some predictions of what I believe. I left Brian's gonna. I think Brian's gonna do a live prediction, so he's gonna kind of just tell me who he thinks is gonna be in the positions. I do have some already put in for him because some are kind of like locked in. I think Virgil or Kelleher, for instance, is pretty much locked in. But I also put together something where I would show you this. So this is the Luton team that I think. Brian, I know that. Do you have? I know you don't necessarily watch a lot of the Luton games, but do you feel comfortable that this probably will be the lineup? I'm trying to make it as big as possible so you can see it. You can see it, correct?
Yeah. I can.
Is it too small? Is it? I can make it bigger if necessary.
No. Excuse me. I'm not sure if I haven't seen any kind of injury things on them, but I know the other guy is out. That to me looks like kind of what they normally do.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Yeah. Who did you see that was out?
Ogbene or not Ogbene? Adebayo, the guy that's been banging him in for them lately.
Okay.
The striker, like the guy that scored the last few games.
Oh, okay, yeah. I don't have him in. I have Morrison at the Morris at the striker. I have Clark and Townsend as the they go. I have them in a 3-4-2-1. I'll just go from the back actually. Kaminsky in goal. I have Bell, Osho, and Mengi as their back three. Then I have Doughty, Barkley, Sambi. I'm trying to think how you say that. Sambi Lukanga, right? Sambi Lukanga as right next to Barkley, and then Ogbene on the right of him, and then I have Clark, Townsend, and then Morris at the top. That's what I have as being my prediction for what they'll come at us with, because I think they're going to really have that four pick and choose when they're going to go forward. But I think that four is going to be almost like a back seven in essence, at times, by having 6, 7, maybe even 8 people in or around the box.
Yeah, I'd say the main guys was Barkley and Adebayo, the striker, over the last few games. and Lukonga's
Mhm.
been playing really well. So it's a big blow for them. But Alfie Doughty is also one of the most creative players in the Premier League, just in terms of chance creation. And
Mm.
he's someone, but with the striker out, that kind of, Carlton Morris is good. Not saying he's a bad striker, but
Mhm.
it kind of takes away 50% of their main threat. But Ross Barkley is a player reborn. I don't know a lot about this Clark guy. We all know Andros Townsend is. Ogbene is
Yeah.
Irish. I know he plays on the right hand side for Ireland. And then you've got three just kind of fairly solid centre backs there, and the goalkeeper who's a decent shot
Mhm.
stopper. But yeah, commit like Doughty, Barkley, they're their main kind of creative threats.
So basically, their left side is what we have to worry about. Basically, you're saying because I think because Doughty
Doughty's,
and Barkley left.
yeah, Doughty's been known to play either side, but yeah, he'll play a wing back role, whatever side.
Right. Right.
But
And then Justin was asking, Kabore was good at their place. I wonder what happened to him. I think he's injured, right? I think he might be
Kabore,
injured. I'll double check for you. I
Kabore.
can tell you who's injured for them. They have quite a they have not hold on a second. I'll tell you who's injured for them. So Nakamba, Lockyer, Anderson, Hashioka, and
Oh,
Adebeye.
Kabore, the left back. Yeah, he was a wing back. He's not injured, so I'm not sure what's going on with him.
Yeah.
I can tell you that he hasn't played since. He hasn't played in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. So don't know what's going on with him, but yeah, I say, those three guys that I was flagging up there, they're the ones that if we can kind of keep them quiet,
Yeah.
Adebayo kind of, he's not 100%, 100,000,000% confirmed out, but as far as I know, again, I'm like, he's not. He could pop up.
Maybe he does. Maybe he does in this game.
Yeah,
I'll
like,
transition. Okay.
no, can you see anything, like anybody on that's kind of worrying you? That they got.
No,
I
no,
think
not. I mean, I don't want to jinx it or anything like that, but not necessarily.
no.
Like I'm like, okay, we've got a game plan around this guy type deal.
Yeah, they're a really good team.
Right,
They're really
right,
good 11, a really good outfit, a
right.
really good unit. But it's sort of like, we all know Ross Barkley on his day can sort of pull a special. He's a special player backman. He's got great technique. It'd be just like him at Anfield to curl one in. But
Mhm.
there's not much. It's just them as a team is probably the thing. We should have plenty though.
Yeah. Let's transition then to this is what. All right, so this is what I predict. We can go either what I'll do what I predict Klopp is going to do, then I'll do what I would like to see us possibly do, and then we'll go to your team and we can finish off with your team. Okay.
Sure. And big
Okay.
up JK,
So
by the way, and Dustin and
yeah,
everybody.
big up JK for sure. Um, this is the predicted 11. This is if Salah is available. I'm not certain if Salah is or not available. I've seen reports that he is available. I've seen reports that he's not available. I've seen reports again, then like an hour or two later that he wasn't available. So I'm not certain. I know he's in that doubtful stage, along with Nunez. But I also know that a lot of the times when it comes to the reports, especially the way that Klopp played at this time in the press conference, you really didn't have a real firm grasp on who's definitely out, who's definitely not going to be out, other than the most obvious ones like Diego and those kinds of selections. So this is going under the pretense that Salah will start or has the ability to start. I put in Diaz, Hakpo, Salah, and I put McAllister, Endo, Gravenberch, Robbo, Van Dijk, Kanate, Bradley, and then I put Kelleher in at goal. Now, and again, this is me saying that Salah because I said Salah wasn't going to start. I said Salah we're going to be missing him. Remember, we were on the Frank Carlisle show together, and like there, Frank was trying to press me on who's going to be the biggest miss, who's going to be one of the biggest misses, from the injured. And I was like, oh well, I think Salah will be a huge miss for us, considering that we could really utilize his services today on how thin we are with like superstars on our team at least, and I got pushback saying that Sal's going to start. Sal's available.
No. Yeah, no, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was just basically they'd given a list out and of the confirmed injured players, and Salah wasn't on the list. So the other list that people picked from didn't have Salah on it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
I think he was kind of saying, yeah, kind of forget about Salah, because he was saying there isn't 100% on him. I just think it's because the other people had picked from a list with no Salah. Because I was like, hang on, what? Yeah, like it's Nunez. Like I've seen, Nunez is available or available for selection. I've seen Salah is out. I've seen both are 50-50. I've seen Salah's a doubt. I've seen every kind of version of it.
Yeah.
So there just doesn't seem to be a definitive one on Salah. It's Mo bloody Salah. If he can walk to Anfield, I wouldn't be surprised if he starts. We all know what he's like.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I kind of like said if he is available, he probably will start. If he says he can go, he'll probably push to start, not to sit the bench on this one. But I also did this. I wanted to show this before because I know we only have like about 17 minutes. I want to make sure I get your prediction into. I wanted to show this other predicted lineup, or at least a lineup that I was really thinking about would be kind of an interesting lineup to see. I went with this lineup here too. I went with a lineup that basically same premise for the most part. Rather than Konate, or I don't know if I had Konate in before. Let me go check. I had Konate in the lineup before, but I went with in this lineup. I went with Robbo, Van Dijk, Kwanzaa, Bradley, and then obviously Kelleher Kelleher's a given. But that back line I had Robbo, Van Dijk, Kwanzaa, Bradley, and then I have, because I like the fact of I would like to have the option of one, you have Simicast if you do want to bring in a left back for Robbo, or if you want to switch it up, or if you want to make it different, you could still utilize Gomez as a backup for Bradley and Robbo, and then you also have the ability to say to Gomez, "Hey, we can utilize you in that cup game." What's that?
Well, do you want the team?
Oh, the team's out?
No, there's a leak. The leak is.
Oh no. Well, I want to, let me just go through some of this. Then you can give me the leak. How about that?
Just in case someone else.
Because the big spoiler, or the red herring, or whatever you want to call it. Big up honesty, and big up to Marquet. The big call for me was I wouldn't, if Salah can't go today. And this is just me, again, thinking a little bit outside the box, but knowing what Klopp has done before. Why not start Elliott in the right mid and start Gravenberch in that right winger spot? He's done it before.
Yeah. Well, I mean, someone else is just going to put it in the chat, so I may as well just tell you now.
All right, drop the link. Drop the leak, I meant.
Yeah, the league team is Kelleher, Gomez left back, Van Dijk, Kwanzaa, Bradley, Endo, Gravenberch, McAllister in midfield, Diaz on the left, Gakpo up front, and Elliott on the right.
Okay.
That's the league team.
Okay.
And
how do you feel about Elliott at the right mid? We can do your lineup as we get as well.
Yeah, that's he would have been. That's what I would have done. He was going to be in my team.
Oh, you would have went with that exact lineup?
The lineup they have here, I wouldn't have started. No, I would have started. My defense would have been different, but I would have gone with the same six as that league, the front six. I would have had Robbo start, and I would have had Konate start, but Gomez and Kwanzaa are starting. So I thought Gomez would only start if he was going to start
Oh
over
wait, it
Bradley
has.
at right back.
Oh, let me let me hear that again. So you have what's the back line? The Leaf back line has Van Dijk not starting and
Gomez?
Kwanzaa not and
No, 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 no. No, listen, wait. You misheard me the first time. Gomez left back.
okay.
Van Dijk.
Okay. I'm
Kwanzaa.
gonna put them in. I'm gonna put them in as you say. Gomez left
Yeah,
back. Okay.
it's the same one that's up there, apart from Gomez, where
Here,
Robertson is,
I'll share this. This is a
and
live.
then
This is a live one. All the other ones were already predicted or already took them out. But okay, so
all, and all you have to do then is switch Gravenberch and Elliott.
right.
That's all you
So
have to do.
Grimbers, Elliott, I switched out.
You just have to swap their position, because
Right,
Gravenberch
I
is
did. I
starting
did.
midfield, and
Yeah.
then apparently it's Gravenberch on the left of the three, and McAllister
Oh,
on the right.
Grimbers and
That
McAllister. Okay, I have McAllister on the left. Okay, I'll move him over.
It could be either or. Could be either or. It's just the league, but that's what the league team is saying.
Okay, what would you go with though? I'm interested to see what you would go with though. I got your leak, the leak that you got. I know that you're in the loop.
I would have gone
your
that.
fantasy.
I would have gone with that team. Only I would have gone with Robbo, and I would have gone with Kanate over Gomez and Kwanzaa. So Kwanzaa gets the start of Kanate.
Okay, so take out Kanate. So you would take out Kanate and you put Kwanzaa in.
No, I'm saying that's what the league team is.
Oh, okay.
Sorry
about that. I know. Maybe I don't know if we're on a delay or not. Maybe.
No. I'll go through it once more. The league team, right? Okay. The league team is Gomez at left back, Van Dijk, Kwanzaa, Bradley, Endo, Gravenberch, McAllister, Elliott, Gakpo, Diaz. Now there's no word of Nunez or Salah whether they're on the bench. I didn't see anything about a bench.
Okay.
Again, these league teams, it's not usual to get a full 11. Sometimes it's only about 4 or 5 changes. So we'll see. Don't be surprised if it's not entirely. Yeah, this stuff happens, but it's like we were saying, that team is kind of picking itself. Like when I was talking about the only one that I was unsure about was whether it be Gomez or Bradley at right back. I thought one would sit it out and the next would play. I didn't see Gomez playing at left back because someone else said earlier on that Robbo was out, and obviously that was correct. But they were saying Tsimikas start. Now, I would have thought Tsimikas coming in stone cold.
So Robbo's out. Robbo, do you think Robbo might not be fit to play? Is that what you're trying to say?
Look, this is you haven't asked Klopp that one. Is he resting him for Chelsea? Is he? It's just I would have been surprised if Tsimikas came back.
Yeah,
with minutes. I can see Tsimikas getting half an hour tonight, maybe, to warm him up a bit.
Yeah.
But that team should be good to go. I don't see any problems with that team at all.
Would you? So, Dustin's asking, do we know for sure Darwin and Salah won't play? We don't know for sure. I can't confirm that either. Confirm or deny that. But if they are available and if they are fit and available to play, chances are they will want to play. They want to. Most of these guys want to play every game in any game they can, and especially Salah. We all know Salah and the way that Darwin look at games. Let's see. Their right wing, he said, St. Paul is saying, nah, their right wing is the fastest in the Prem. We need Joe there. Okay, I got you. That could be a shout by St. Paul.
That Ogbenik, the Irish kid,
Yeah, he is rapid for sure. But I thought,
I've seen another someone saying that Kwanzaa starts. Gomez, so we'll see.
I guess I got the names all correct on my list except for Gomez, but I don't have them starting in the places that they're starting. We all know the fluidity of the team and everything else, and just because they're there doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be locked and loaded into those positions all game. But
I like Baldwin and Elliott. I hope Elliott stays on that right and doesn't drip, because I really like Bradley and Elliott linking up, because they like
Okay.
basically Elliott
Okay.
will interact more with Bradley than Salah would. There'll be a lot more
Right.
kind of give and go and when you're working between them, because they're both similar age. They both know each other really well. They're used to each other's games. It's not just give it to Mo. Not like it. Bradley was always taking control of that, but I like the idea of them as a partnership. Maybe it's just something that's in my head and it isn't real, but I just like the idea of.
Got you. Okay. Do you have a problem with Gravenberch and McAllister playing on the right rather than the left, or do you like Gravenberch on the left more so anyway?
Like, I think Klopp got hit with that during the week, and he was sort of like, "Yeah, look, I thought he did a really good job during the week of simplifying what we do and taking away
Right.
a lot of the noise." And he said, "Look, football for me is still simple. You attack when you attack, and you defend when you defend. So whoever is in the space when we're defending, whether it's this guy, that guy, it doesn't matter. They defend, they attack that space, they defend that space." Well, yeah, I think it can be a little bit like that. I wouldn't, yeah, get that wouldn't worry me too much. Whereas I know for some kind of tactical nerds, it might really annoy them. But probably ideally he plays just on the other side. But I think this is a one of those what you call like net gain, net loss kind of thing. I think Gravenberch is at his best on that other side, whereas he
I
might.
got you.
But for all we know, you line up and they're all playing left, right, in the middle.
Right.
But
Because
McAllister is going
Gravenberch,
to get off.
we haven't
McAllister
seen
get off.
McAllister that often on the left. He, unfortunately, I mean,
Yeah,
either he's playing the six, or we have seen him now because Dom's not available. Obviously, we have seen him every once in a while, and Cujo isn't in the lineup. We've seen him play that right side, but now that Cujo and Dom are definitely the more preferred choices at starting in the eights for Klopp, now both of them aren't available. It's interesting to see where he'll have them at least start the game. The concept of where we can somewhat expect to see them. Do you think that triangle on the right side is going to be? So you think these triangles that we have? So basically, because here I'll bring up what I mean. You know how we did the rotating triangles, and basically,
I know. Yeah. I know. There you go.
you have the McAllister, and then you would have basically Bradley like this, and then you'll have like Diaz here. You'll have Gravenberch a little bit like here, and then you have Gomez here. And that's if we don't see. Do you think we'll see the inverted role today, or do you think we'll see the guys play more of a traditional right back, left back concept of what we expect?
He did it a little bit. Bradley, I noticed, was playing in midfield a little bit against Brentford. Like, to remember that one where he moved and he ran in through the middle, and you could see, like I watched it. It was really I followed him, and the guy that was commentating. Now the way he moved, the co-commentator said the same thing. Said I watched every movement. He came in off the line. He played like a 1-2 in midfield, then gave another, but then ran forward, received the ball, and had a shot at goal. And it was just perfect. And you see Jurgen Klopp going mad going mad in a good way. Like, just go on, Connor, brilliant. He's like, love it. But you could see he went right through midfield, came in off the flank, and popped up in kind of where Gakpo is on the graphic there, in that kind of position, and ended up having the shot completely all his own work. So yeah, it's oh God, I don't want to. Hopefully, no one starts. Should Bradley play in midfield conversation by next week? But,
I'm about to say, man, watch yourself.
Hey man, I guarantee you, if he had to, I can guarantee he wouldn't do a bad job in where Harvey Elliott is. If he had to, if he needed someone to just go and play right for half an hour, I bet you could trust Connor Bradley to do. But yeah, keep an eye on him. I reckon maybe Gomez might go in and let Bradley go down, or Bradley might go in. Like, The thing about a player with high IQ is you can
Yeah.
kind of trust them to actually see where the space is, and that's what Bradley did. He just, okay, you have your instructions, but there was an obvious move and an obvious space to go into. So we shouldn't, if he sees that, let the player not improvise as such, but that was the right move. You could see, like, if you watch it, I know you've seen it twice. If you watch that
Mhm.
Bradley channel back and watch Klopp's reaction, he's just like,
Mhm.
he probably his best reaction of the day, and it was
Yeah.
all through him. So I like it. I don't mind Bradley going in and attacking in that space because they won't be expecting.
Yeah, they definitely won't be expecting it from Bradley. I don't think. They might see it from Guccio, sorry, from Gomez, adding Lucho and Gomez together, I guess. But Gomez, um, yeah, you could see something like that because we have seen Gomez obviously play the inverted role. I don't know, maybe a little bit less from the left side. Do you get to see him play the inverted role? But all the same, we do invert more so from the right than the left. But we have seen him do the inverted role from the left as well.
More of a sitting kind of role. Like when Joe goes in, he tends to kind of sit a little bit.
Yeah,
Not like
yeah, he
he's
doesn't
not
go
so
as far forward. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. You can tell Bradley and Trent have a more kind of offensive version of it. Like, whereas Joey can
yeah.
just be more kind of quarterbacky type thing. But he's going to get that goal one day. It might be tonight.
One, maybe.
Get, get your 50p on it.
Yeah, exactly. I need to put that money down. Because let's see, Real and Jared says something that I said yesterday actually on a couple different posts or a couple different broadcasts yesterday. I was on a bunch of broadcasts yesterday. It was a fun little day of like of YouTube surfing. But
Sure.
yeah, right. He says no need to worry about that game at the moment. We need to win our games until that game, and then worry about the City game. Referencing the City game, I know because I remember Jamie was saying something on lines of like, I think James was talking about something about like, I think he was focusing more so on like these different on like, oh, the City game or this game or that game, like so many games into the future, and something about the Cup game, for instance, even. And I was just saying, I think the mentality of this team is the same as it ever was, in that you just focus on the game at hand. That's the most important game, is whatever game is up next. You know, and
Yeah.
I think that's why when I hear people saying, "Oh, we should like, we shouldn't what were people saying? They're saying how like they shouldn't we should prioritize one of the games, the league games over the cup games or this or that, and I was like, let's just prioritize whatever game is next. Like that's my importance of it all, because every game is important, so like why not just prioritize every game that's coming up next, like as in the game at hand, prioritize that game, figure out what you can put as the best lineup, bring out that lineup, and then when the next game comes up,
Take care of that.
retool, reorganize, prioritize, and figure out what's the best lineup to put in this game. You feel what I'm saying?
Of course, man. That's the way I look at it too. It appears that maybe, the two boys might not even be in the squad. The two main men, Salah and Nunez. Looks like they might not even be on the bench.
Yeah. I mean, even without them on the bench, even without them in this game, we should be able to still handle Luton. Let's be honest. Luton is a good team. I'm not taking away from it.
Yeah, we can't get any injury. We can't get any injury. We can't get any injury. Not one.
No.
Like there's none. I don't.
No chance of that. Right.
Yeah,
and that's why, if anything, I want to make sure that we not only, maybe it's not worth. He's just saying he's doing the prioritized thing and saying it's just not worth putting these players in at, what percentage. What's funny is that, and I'm sure you're about to get the update as to what the live, lineup exactly is. But what's very interesting to me, at least, is some of what we've seen these players have to like go through to even get to the fitness that they're at. And yesterday, when we was talking, Chris was in the chat, and I'm gonna be doing stuff with Bajan Reds possibly today. BajanRedsTV, they're gonna be doing a watch along, and what was very
Hillier hasn't.
interesting is Chris was saying that.
Sorry,
You have the.
I know
You have the. Okay. Let me see.
No, Hillier is after putting it in, but it's the same as the leak team. Yeah, it is. So the leak was correct, and no Nunez on the bench. Bench is Adrian, Canade, Robertson, Simicast, McConnell, Clark, Leone, Gordon, and Dan. So they're not even risking him for 5 minutes. So hopefully that just means one of them will be back in time for the cup final.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we know. I've seen it. Yeah, we've seen it here. No, we know. It's just it tied up with the leak one as well. Yeah, look, I'm just hoping that means Nunez won't be risked tonight because whatever. So keep him, but maybe Salah might be a couple of weeks. Who knows? But it's not great at all.
We all expect that Dan's off the bench would be nice to see. Red for life. I agree with that too. Especially since some of the things I've been catching up and starting to seeing some of these names. You kind of you kind of do some backtrack history. You kind of try to find some what's going on from the scouts and maybe even some footage that you can get on some of these guys. I do watch some of the youth games sometimes. Every once in a while, I will watch a game just to kind of just because there's nothing else on, I might watch it type deal. Is Gordon the next man up? That's a good question. It's a very good question. I thought we have
attackers on the bench.
A lot of attackers,
no, I mean there's no attackers on the bench in terms of players with first team.
Dan and Gordon are attackers. Well, Dan.
No, I mean sorry, no, first team guys. They're all immediately straight to the the guys who
any normal first team players like Kanate, Robbo, Simicast, those three are all defensive. I get what you're saying. Yep.
If we need a goal, if just say this is 0-0 and it's 80 minutes, and we need a goal, it's not fair.
Calling on Gordon?
Well, it's not fair to say to a kid. Yeah, it's not fair to say to a kid, go out and finish that game. Go out, don't try it and try it in it if it works. But that bench is, oh man, that's what I was worried about. Is that that 11 out there basically needs to finish the game, apart from I don't know some rest, Robbo comes on for Gomez or something. I mean, a Clark or a McConnell isn't coming on unless that game is sewn up.
Yes, I agree with that. I don't think possibly even Gordon,
no,
Leone, Don's.
Forget it. Forget about it.
Chances are they're not coming on unless we've got a decently a game under control type deal and we have a lead already.
You'd want to be 3 or 4-0 up with 15 minutes to go before you're bringing on players like Gordon and Leone and stuff like that. You're really so hopefully we're going to need. Who could we possibly have back for the cup final that's out right now? Tony Nunez. So, hopefully the idea will be
Nunez Salah,
get Gomez off after an hour. I say rest Gomez. Give Gomez an hour. And give him a half-hour rest by bringing on Robbo. The same with either Kwanzaa and Van Dijk by bringing on Kanate for the last half hour. You can get minutes on the rest. But apart for any of the forward lads, like Diaz going to play 90 minutes tonight, almost certainly. RB Elliott, Gakpo, they might come on with 5 minutes to go. Like say if we're winning, you can bring on Dan's or something like that. But this game needs to be managed.
I was just going to ask real quick: did they put Gravenberch on the left, or is Gravenberch on the right? By the way, I know that this is the right lineup. But have they? Is there one where you get to see where they put them?
No, you won't know that until they go out and take the pitch. Don't worry about any of those things because they can all be just red herring. No one knows the formation. You'll just get your lineup leak, but until they go out and line up on the pitch, you won't know. But we can pretty much guess. I mean, it could be Gravenberch or McAllister on either side. So
High Laura says 11 players out today. I was just gonna say real quick, Brian. High Lord says 11 players out today for Liverpool, and I read a lot of stats, and everybody remembers last year's problems with injuries, but it actually looks worse this season. What's your feelings on that? So that's a half decent point.
11 players out today for Liverpool. And
Yeah.
I read a lot of, and everybody remembered that's your problem, but it actually looked worse this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, it was worse when we had no defenders, but I think it's worse numbers wise. You know, whether it's actually worse in terms of how detrimental it is to the squad. I think each season was pretty bad. I think the number and timing of these is probably the worst that we've had, apart from the ones where sorry, those two guys are out for the season. Yeah, the number of them and all of them happening around this kind of, also with a bit of AFCON, with players being away involved, it's kind of hit us pretty hard. Yeah, I'm not sure we've been hit this hard in such a kind of a condensed period. We've had probably just as many spread out over a season. But yeah, I'd go with, like, it does look pretty much like they're, at any stage in the last 5 years. I'm not sure I can ever remember us being down to quite this kind of level of bare bones since the Genie and Henderson at centre back kind of days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because normally, if nothing else, usually we have Mo, and usually we might have a Milner. But we're, like we've been saying all week, that this is so bad if it gets to the point where we need to make subs and bring people on. It looks okay at the moment, but we've gotten right to the bottom layer now, where normally Klopp likes to make 4-5 subs in a match. Can't do that now. And the next man up is a kid with very little experience, and throwing him in the middle of a title race or into a cup final. You're asking a lot of these people.
I saw the thing about the Robbo thing. I don't know what that's about, but honestly says something about he saw the reason why Robbo's not playing or not starting. I don't know, but he's searching for the comment, but he doesn't see right now. He doesn't see.
Yeah, he said someone on Twitter said Robbo was dropped because of comments that he made, or maybe he's just, like, I prefer to believe that he's been rested for the cup final. Which one of those sounds more like it?
Yeah, I hope.
If Robbo,
I think, yeah. Robbo's
no, sorry, no, I'm sorry, but you I know, honestly, man, you read a lot of stuff, right? You know what football is like. At least you should by now. Use your brain. If
no, he's not saying. He's saying, he's saying take it with
no, but I know he's saying, but use, and to other people, use your brains. If Robbo had been somehow dropped for making kind of comments, right? Why would he be on the bench? He'd just be out of the squad. He wouldn't be on the bench.
Yeah.
If something had happened and he'd said something and he was out with the team for the night, he wouldn't be in the stadium, let alone on the bench. It's exactly what comments, Brian? There are no comments. This is the whole thing. There are no. Some idiot on Twitter said, "Oh, Klopp. If Klopp is going to drop you for disciplinary, Klopp isn't going to drop you to the bench and then bring you on. He's just going to leave you out for the night. So don't bother coming to work tomorrow."
Yeah. Oh, big up Jean Gray in the house. I'm sorry. Anytime one of our Reds Queens is in the house, you get excited. You're happy to see them as well. Marion's in the house as well. So we're double blessed today. Marion Southworth's in the house. We got Jean Gray in the house. Big up to you both. I was going to say this. I'm going to ask once again. I have one person's predictions. Red for Life gave his predictions. He gave 3-0. He has Lucho scoring. He has Cody scoring and Harvey scoring. So basically our whole front line scoring, which is always great to see. Please do get your scores and predictions in for your scores and score predictions. I'd love to see what we have before the game starts, so we can kind of get a read of who and what you see is going to happen today. There's some other comments here. Red for Life says, come on Come on, you Reds. Let's get those 3 points. I agree with that completely. Anfield better be loud tonight. That's what Rep for Life says. And you know what's funny about when I see that kind of comment? I'm like, Anfield has to be loud for every game. I don't see how you can't be loud, considering that this is the last dance. This is Klopp's last dance. So if you can't get excited about the Reds and us being at the top of the league and being contention for all 4 comps, I don't know what's gonna. I don't know if Anfield's the place for you. You know, I don't think that's the place for you to go.
Depends on your definition of loud. It'll be louder than it would be at a 3 p.m. kickoff or a 12:30 kickoff. It'll be louder than normal because there's more people there. But on a night game, and like Frank was explaining last night, you get a lot more of the locals there, so you get a lot more noise. But it still won't be crazy town. Don't like if it's 0-0 after 20 minutes. Anfield will do what it always does and go deadly quiet. You know, it's up to. Unfortunately, these days the team needs like you'll have your pockets, but these days that before when like the crowd, the team and the crowd, it's synergistic. You know, the crowd feeds off the team feeds off the crowd. So if it's a poor game, the crowd will go flatter. But back in the day, you might have more singing because even when the game wasn't great. But again, I've looked at some of the older games, like it's not non-stop noise for 90 minutes. So if we're playing poorly, you know, it goes back and forth. It goes 2 ways. You know, that if the team go 2-0 up, yeah, you watch the noise go up, but the people don't sing and scream and shout like they used to do. But I think tonight will be louder than most nights. Hopefully, this extra. What is it? 10,000 or 20? 10,000 or is it 5,000?
For how many extra fans have been added?
That new upper tier. What was that? An extra 5,000.
So it went from. It's now 61,000 is the number that we're at now. So that's like close to about 10,000, something like that, around there.
Yeah, that should definitely make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And
if not,
yeah, you know, it's real quick mention of this because I know I saw I think Chloe from Redmond I think she mentioned this or someone else was mentioning this too about how like in the upper tiers the stewards like are very sometimes they like when the crowd is getting up and like people are trying to stand up and they're trying to get all like they're trying to get rowdy, they'll actually tell them to sit down or they'll tell them to like kind of like in essence. Go ahead.
Oh no, yeah, that's a big thing, man. I'm glad someone brought that up because I didn't want to go into that because I'm not a match going fan, but I know that goes on. But yeah, when you hear someone like that's there, yeah, I mean, you're not supposed to be standing up,
which is kind of crazy.
It's a buzzkill. It's the ultimate buzzkill, you know. It really is. But you can understand, obviously, you know, why the seating came in. Like we all want safe standing back because we know that should make, as far as I'm concerned, there is, I think 3,000 extra added safe standing seats at Anfield this year. So, but I think that will massively bring the atmosphere back if you can get as many of those lower tiers to be safe standing as possible, and that will increase your numbers as well. And you know, it's like sitting down at a rave, you know, you're not supposed to sit down at, I know in some of these old rock concerts there, you know, you are supposed to sit down watching Pink Floyd or something, but you know, so you go and sit down at a concert, you're there to dance, you know, you're there to be up, you're not there to sit there and go, oh, very good, well done, you know, that was good, wasn't it? Sit there and play, you're there to jump up and down and you know, so asking people to sit down, hey, we all get the safety.
That's a little weird. That's something they don't do that in game, like in, you know, sporting events here in America. They definitely don't do that. Like if someone were to come up to you and say, hey, please sit down, I'd be like, oh wow, okay. Like albeit most people do sit down at a lot of different games and they pick and choose when they want to stand up. But like but that's interesting, you know, very interesting. High Lord gave us some stats about Luton away in the Prem. He says 2 wins, 3 draws, 6 losses, 15 goals scored, 25 goals conceded. Liverpool at home, 10 wins, 2 draws, 0 losses, 33 goals scored, 10 goals conceded. Let's see. Marion also says this. He goes, I don't understand why Anfield is so quiet. My aunties lived off Breck Road. You could stand in her garden and hear Anfield. It was brilliant. Yeah, that must be beautiful. Okay. So do you have some score predictions? I'll bring up some of the chat's score predictions if you have one too, though.
Yeah, sure. Well, now that I'm officially amazing, brilliant at predicting scores, I don't have to think about it a little bit. I think Cody Gakpo is going to score twice. I
Oh
think
wow,
it's going to be
Gakpo scoring a brace. I like that call. I like that.
Cody through the middle. Cody through the middle is good. I can see him getting 2. I see he's keeping. Do I see? Yeah, I see he's keeping a clean sheet, and we'll get one from someone else. So I go, yeah. I like 3-0. We might get one of the midfielders. Might get one, but I can see. I don't see Harvey scoring, but I do see Cody having a good game tonight. I see a clean sheet because of their main guy being out, but we need to be careful. And yeah, maybe Endo. Has Endo scored yet? Has Endo scored for us yet?
Yes, he has.
In the
He
league?
scored in Fulham. In Fulham.
Oh, all right, okay. Well, Gravenberch. I'll give Gravenberch a go. So, yeah, the Dutch boys do tonight.
I'm trying to think if Gravenberch has scored. I don't know. I know Gravenberch has scored, but I'm trying to think if he scored in Prem game. Has he scored in the Premier game yet?
That one where he buried the rebound from Nunes. Okay. Was that in the Premier League? Remember Nunes hit the post?
That's a good question. Was that a cup game? Was that a cup game, or was that a?
Yeah, I don't think that was. I don't think that was the Premier League.
Yeah, I know that everyone. I know Bradley's goal. Bradley's goal was a cup game too. That was FA Cup, right? I think Bradley's goal was FA Cup too. I'm trying to think if Kwanzaa or Bradley scored in the Prem game. But I mean, Hylor probably could answer that for us. Hylor is really good with the stats. You know, makes me have to get on my game a little bit more. So, let's see. Let's get some of these score predictions up. So let me make sure I heard your prediction right. What was your prediction again?
Bradley scored against Chelsea in the league.
Bradley scored against. Okay, he did. Well, yes, he did.
In the league.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, and Gravenberch has not scored in the league. Mm-hmm. So we'll check that now. Yeah, Gravenberch has 0 goals in the league. He also has 0 assists, but anyway. Yeah, so that was.
Yeah, he's saying that the KJ just said that the Grav rebound goal was a Europa game, because I do remember that was against like last or something like that. They were wearing like the white and green jerseys, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, I knew he scored against Chelsea. Yeah, that one. Do you remember, because Darwin fell to his knees because he was in a bit of a bad moment at the time. He was missing everything. Yeah. I think that was. And then Gravenberch, and I think it was Salah, went over and picked him up, and about 2 seconds later, Darwin was laughing and joking again. He was all good, but you could see how much that one meant to him. He was like, "God, not another one," because I think he'd hit a few.
Yeah. I remember. Do remember that now.
Yeah. But Gravenberch absolutely buried it. So that's all that matters. The goal went in. Like, Gravenberch absolutely buried it. So yeah, one for him in the league. He's got nothing. I'm surprised he has no assists. Yeah, I know he doesn't have a huge amount of number of minutes, but
yeah, no, I can understand that too. Let me see. I'll bring up the score prediction. So I said Red for Life's prediction was 3-0. Lucho, Hackbo, and Harvey. Honesty had it at 2-0. He's got a Cody brace as well. I might be putting. So I see how many people want me to put some wagers down. I'll put down some of these. I might put down some interesting bets here. So he had Dan's a score. Let me put this down. Cody Abrace sounds like a good call, right? Dan's was his goal.
Yeah, I like that call.
4-1. Dustin has it as being 4-1. Okay. Marion has it 2-1. Us. Ooh, Marion has it a very tight game. Okay. Which is understandable considering that we just squeaked out a draw against them last time. Let's see who else in here has a score prediction. What's that?
Yeah. No thanks. Come on, Marion. 2-1.
Yeah, no, I don't want a 2-1. I don't want a 2-1 score. I want to be able to get some of the youth players in so that they can kind of like and the reason why I say get them in, I mean, obviously you can get them in whenever you want to get them in, but I would prefer to get them into moments where they're not in a pressure cooker. More so, they're in a game where they can, find their game, be able to not have the pressure of like trying to find the goal, but just play their game and enjoy the moment in like a 3-1 or a 4-1 style game or something like that, or a 3-0 game. How about even better? A lot of people have us getting scored on a lot actually. I think the only score prediction I saw so far was that had us 2-0, because KJ's got us at 3-1. 3-1 for KJ. What's that?
I have us 3-0 anyway, keeping a clean sheet.
You have us okay, so you do have us at 3-0. Okay, so yeah, 3-0 and 2-0 are the only scores I've heard so far as us getting clean sheets on. Jean Gray was saying, Liverpool tough man, I can't sit watching a live game without live commentary. The place is tense. Again, the rowdy fan can't afford those tickets anymore. Hospitality wins. Real change. Yeah, I mean, like it is. Say that again. Say it a little louder.
Sorry, she's right. Yeah, sorry, she's right about the hospitality. It's kind of taken a lot of the focus from
the focus.
That's what the
energy.
The ordinary working man. I'm sorry to say it, but that's just what it is. The ordinary working man going to football with, that they make the most noise.
That's sports in general, all across the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
All across the world.
Yeah. All the Liverpool that was mainly about putting in corporate hospitality and then just adding a few seats, because that's where they're getting 10, 15 grand a box per game.
Yeah.
So those they don't want half those boys. They get invited by their boss.
Yeah.
8, 10 people. Maybe 2 of them might be Liverpool fans.
Yeah.
Either they're inviting all the boys from the office or all the lads from the company, 10 of them. Mm-hmm. What's the chances they're all going to be mad Liverpool fans? They're there for the day out.
They're there for the fact that it's a free ticket. Yeah. They're there for it's a free ticket on the company's dime. They're there. It's a free ticket.
Free food, bit of a football match. If they're lucky,
maybe some choice pictures for their socials, and that's about it.
Yeah, like the boss, the guy who buys the ticket, he'll be a Liverpool fan.
Oh, absolutely.
Or she, whoever they'll be, because they'll get the box at Liverpool. So they might be company based at Liverpool, but you could have a few Man United fans, a City fan, an Everton fan, a couple Liverpool fans.
Yeah. Some of them, I even go as far as to say some of them aren't. Some of them just get the tickets because they understand they'll be hosting clients, and that's more so of the bigger draw.
Yeah. Oh hell yes,
so
yes.
So they're not necessarily the biggest Liverpool fans. It's more so, hey, do you want to go to a Liverpool game? Are you a football fan? That's the draw that they utilize more so than, hey, I'm a big Liverpool fan. I'm going to go there and root my head off. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like bringing them to an entertainment event. Right. It's like if someone brought me to a Yankees game when I was over, because I go over for a business thing and say, come on, we bring you to a Yankees game. I'll have a great time, but not a Yankees fan.
Yeah, for sure. Like, no doubt.
So look, they're just taking out that core group that are the people that everybody expects to make the noise.
Mm-hmm.
And all the people that are there that are talking about the atmosphere. Well, if you were there, would you be singing for 90 minutes? Be honest
No,
with yourself.
I get that. I would be, because it'd be the experience of a lifetime. But I mean, that's because I'm a rabid fan. But I mean, I understand that
Well,
a
if you're in
person,
the
like
middle of a
your
tourist
everyday, right?
if
Yeah,
you
some
if you're in the
some
middle of a
corporate
tourist
pig that
section,
doesn't really watch football isn't going to be that guy. Yeah.
yeah, let's just say you're sitting surrounded by a load of tourists who are there to have a great time, and you're kind of
Mhm.
the only guy standing up singing. Like if you got to be in with a group of 200 or 300 other people who are also singing, which is why
Yeah.
some of these
No, I get it.
places come up with these awful singing sections.
Well,
They have one at
you know
Leicester.
what's unique about that too is that I mean, I know it's definitely it's a phenomenon more so here in North America, even in South America somewhat too, and in Africa too. I know Africa does it as well. It's more like, you get the more the World Cup kind of feel, where the supporting fans kind of congregate and they're all for that one team and sing. It's similar to, we've seen it at what's very interesting. We've seen the crowd be more hyped sometimes in our Europa, when we hosted Europa games. Because you remember I'm trying to think of what fans they were. Was it the Belgium? It was the USG fans, or was it it might have been Toulouse fans. But there's some of the fans from those groups were phenomenal. They were fun. The amount of
Yeah,
they were
you
losing,
meant
and they still
away
had the
fans.
energy that they had
Yeah,
was phenomenal.
away fans are often. I'm sorry, I'm just laughing at Dustin's comment. I mean,
Oh, I didn't see Dustin's comment. I'll pull it up here. I
that's
was going to
a
bring up some of these other comments real quick but let me see what he
it,
say.
fair, just fair play to you. Don't yeah. If you lit up Anfield, fair play to you.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
You
Um.
made the whole.
Oh yeah, Angel 1968 Abel. Also, let me get your score in here. He says, let's hope for a clean sheet. He's saying, I guess he's got some anxiety over this game,
Oh,
because he says he sees a draw, unfortunately. Okay.
well, if you keep a
Okay.
clean sheet, you can't lose, and we're
Yeah,
going to
yeah, you
score.
keep a clean sheet,
We'll
you can't
score against.
lose, for sure.
We
For
will
sure.
score against people. But you're right. Oftentimes, the I mean, like if you watch Dutch games for the European
Mhm.
Cup matches, if you watch games in Germany, because slightly, yeah, a lot of it as well is to do with safety, and that's completely understandable because of what happened in England, what happened
Oh
in
yeah,
Hillsborough.
yeah,
With the safety,
yeah,
okay, some of it went
yeah.
maybe a bit too restrictive, and now they need, because it's not the old days now. They can do things now that are safe that wouldn't have been safe 10 or
Right,
15 years
right.
ago.
Because it used to be
Um,
standing room only. It used to be standing room only at a lot of these facilities or places, and now they've taken that away because
if you look back at
they don't
some of the
want
games,
those same. Yeah.
there was a game at Wembley. Like there's all the biggest games back in the day. Um, they can't tell you how many people were at, because they'll say like the biggest the record attendance at Wembley, the old Wembley before it was knocked down, was around 200,000 people. Now Wembley was only ever supposed to really hold around 80.
Hmm.
So there was all these games back in the sort of before the war, and then in the 40s, where basically, yeah, the stadium could officially hold 10,000, but if 16,000 people showed up, they'd all just push their way in,
Hmm.
and yeah,
Hmm.
they'd all be just crammed in. So it was a completely different time back then. So now you've got like all the safety measures that they can put in place, reintroduce a lot more safe standing. But it's just the culture change in England it's different.
Hmm.
Yeah, like German fans are way louder. Dutch fans are absolutely insane. Turkish fans. We don't have
Yeah,
the atmosphere
yeah.
that we think we have.
The
We don't
atmosphere
like
is
that.
electric. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, like
I
it.
know I'm speaking on an international term when I speak on the U.S. men's national team, but like, there's the American Outlaws are like the actual supporter club for the U.S. men's national team, for instance, and they travel pretty much everywhere that the team goes. But even when they're home games, they have their own little section, and that means with the drums, with with the whole, like, everyone sings. There's like almost like a band conductor in front of the fans, and he just, like, he dictates what you're singing, and or she dictates
Oh
what you're
yeah,
singing, and
plenty of them in
it's intense.
football too. Man. Yeah, there's plenty
Yeah.
of them in football too. Those guys, I respect them because you get them as well in Irish rugby. You get them in a lot of Irish sports. Well, these guys like they'll pay to go and watch the match, and they'll spend the entire match with their back to the game, looking at the crowd, playing
Yeah,
instruments,
yeah,
and getting them.
yeah.
And they're the biggest, craziest fans out there, and they don't even watch the game.
Yep.
It's just the weird. It's serious. But like that ridiculous England band that should be banned from ever travel. Like they've ruined all that thing, and they watch the
Mm,
game, and they just play
mm.
the same horrible tunes over and over again, really badly. They're world famous, honestly. The England band, look them up, man. Everybody hates the England band. But I mean,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
days of the
yeah.
80s and the 90s of the noise and the craziness, you're never, look, I'm sorry, you're just never going to see that again.
Who do you think? Who
Because
do you think has? So Angel saying the German fans are much louder. Just a quick question. Just a fun question. And this is for the chat too. Who do you think has the loudest fans? You can say you can say a specific club if you know a specific club that has the loudest fans, or who do you think? And I mean on the road and at home, obviously, but especially on the road. Who do you think has the loudest fans? Or maybe you could just say, you can go with just the entire like the fans are louder in Germany, the fans are louder in Spain. You could do something like that. But who do you think has the loudest fans, Brian?
some of the loudest fans in Europe are at Feyenoord, and they have a stadium called the Keep, which is basically like a staircase. It's ridiculous.
Mm,
It's
mm,
it just goes right up into the air. It looks like it's not
mm,
safe. And when that thing gets full and rocking the whole stadium, it's smaller. They get they have the capacity just right. It's always packed. It's not overly big, and it's a total cauldron. You see them in the Europa Conference last season. Honestly, man, that's insane.
mm.
Um, so they would stand out. Stadiums come into this a lot, by the way. A big, huge,
Yeah,
empty bowl of
absolutely.
a
Yeah,
stadium,
yeah,
killing
yeah, yeah,
atmosphere. But the
yeah.
loudest fans, I would say, would be on their day
Or Dortmund.
would be the Turkish fans.
Dortmund has some great fans, by the way.
They're
I would
very
go for Dortmund.
theatrical. The Dortmund fans are very loud and very theatrical, and they put a lot of work into what they do. But I just think,
Mhm.
in terms of outright craziness and loudness, I'd give it. They'd probably be a couple of the Turkish teams,
Oh wow.
in the likes of Gala and them. The whole Welcome to Hell thing. Those guys are absolutely insane. You go to Gala, Fenerbahce, any of those games that you'd be getting deep into, go those Egyptian games. But let's say the bigger leagues, I'd say
Mhm.
definitely the top teams in Turkish Superliga, especially a few years ago when Fener, Gala, and Besiktas were right up there. Those games are insane. But then after that, I'd probably say a couple of the South American club teams. That's just madness down there.
Yeah,
But
there are some. I want to say you go to a Real Plate game or a Boca Juniors game, that is
the
a
short answer, yeah,
loud stadium.
my short answer would definitely be Turkey and South America, but kind of mainly meaning Brazil, Argentina, because I can't speak on Chilean football. But yeah, those Turkish fans,
Mhm.
and then both South American lads. But yeah, next time
Yeah.
you're watching, like if you ever see, just you're watching highlights or something, you see the fine order on it. Just have a look at that stadium. Have a look at the fans. It's like a mini version of Dortmund. The way they have a cop like us. They have a big huge wall, so they can
Right.
put those huge big tifos up. Like in Dortmund, they can put the huge tifos up because it's all one level up. They have the same kind of
Mhm.
thing. Um, it's a little version of that. It's like when Juve moved, they left the Stadio delle Alpi. It was like 80,000 at the Stadio delle
Mhm.
Alpi, and built a brand new stadium, which was pretty much half the capacity. And everyone was like, in the world, at that time,
Oh,
everyone who was leaving an
yeah.
old stadium was moving to a bigger one. And
Mhm.
Juve realized that we'd rather have a guaranteed 45,000 people every single week than maybe 50 and 30,000 empty seats or 20,000 empty seats, and everybody
Right,
hated
right,
it. So they made it
right.
much smaller, much more compact, so it's much
Yes.
louder. You know, it's like very, so the stadium design needs to be just right. These big, huge
No,
bowls,
no, you're right. You're right. That's
they're
what we've
huge.
done here in America. We've done that because, like in America here, we used to a lot of times, there weren't really football or soccer, but football stadiums set. We were there. A lot of these teams, or a couple of these teams, for instance, I remember back in the day, especially when I used to go to DC United games, they were playing at RFK Stadium. So RFK Stadium is a baseball/football stadium, and
that's where the Redskins played, wasn't it?
It was also where the Redskins played at one point too. The
Yeah,
Redskins have a new
RFK.
stadium.
I knew I'd heard of RFK. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you're talking about a stadium that's just set up differently. So the way that the crowd sits is different, than other.
Do you remember?
I know you know about the Columbus. You know about the Columbus Crew. The Columbus Crew were
their first badge
is
iconic.
Yeah,
sorry,
they were one of the first.
Yeah, anyone in the chat? Sorry, anyone in the chat. If you've never heard of Columbus Crew, look up Columbus Crew badge, and their first badge is iconic with the 3 guys on it.
Yeah.
No one's ever done a football crest like that before. But you'll remember the one they even you're totally right about the seating arrangement as well, because they do that in Ireland sometimes, and you can see all the lines on the pitch for the other sports.
Right.
But do you remember the one? Yeah. Do you remember when we went to Boston the first time, and we played at Thingy? What's it called? Boston Red Sox Park.
Yeah, you played to the Red Sox. Yeah, and there's
and they said they marked out a football pitch across the baseball diamond.
Yeah.
Do you remember that game? That was the stupid and the one corner of it that was the stupidest looking thing I've ever seen. And you could, it was just like,
but you're actually being able to play. You're actually being able to play. I mean, let's just get it real. Let's just keep it real. Like in America, that stadium is iconic. Like
what's it
where
called?
The Red Sox play is an iconic stadium for baseball terms. I get that, but it's an iconic stadium for baseball. Yeah. But I agree. No, I mean the team for the New York FC team plays at Yankee Stadium, for instance. Okay, which is a baseball stadium. Again, like it was just a weird thing. And then the only reason I brought up the Columbus Crew was because the Columbus Crew created a stadium where they said we're not going to go. We're going to create a 30,000 seat stadium or whatever it was, so that it is conducive to football, conducive to soccer, football, however you want to mention it. It's conducive to football. So we're gonna make it where the stands are going to be close enough to the pitch that you can feel the energy of the pitch and everything. You don't feel like you're segregated from the game. It was a really unique concept. And after the Columbus Crew, more and more teams started to move out of the stadiums that they were in and create their own stadiums and say, okay, we're not, RFK, you can fit I think some 40, 50, 60,000 people or something like that, something ridiculous. And that's not going to, at the time, wasn't going to go to DC United games, so you have a decent crowd, but it's never a packed crowd, and those empty seats you sometimes can feel the emptiness of those seats. Now, different story.
You need your own home. You need fans to know that they have their own home. As long any team that's ever playing in somebody else's stadium, it never feels real until they go and they get there, unless you've got a ground share kind of thing, like the Milan thing. But just what Jared is saying there, we're not blaming. I'm not blaming hospitality for the lack of atmosphere. I'm just saying that the introduction of a lot of those boxes that would have ordinarily before been seats for members of the general public is contributing to the lack of atmosphere.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's a no-brainer. That's absolutely no-brainer.
But the price of going football, all the seats, it's just like what I'm saying is, and this doesn't I'm from a working class background. I can tell you that the atmosphere is better when it used to cost £5 for a ticket and the stadium was full of local people from Liverpool that could go to the match for the price of a couple of pints and then go home afterwards. It didn't cost you freaking £2,000 to do a bonus package just for for me in Ireland to go and watch a game, £800-900 minimum.
Right.
All this stuff. I'm just saying the gentrification of the Premier League is a real thing. And it gets rid of the more sort of whatever some people might want to say back in the day with some of the more undesirable elements of the sport. But, well, hey, look, if you want that atmosphere that was back in the day, watch old videos. There's not coming back.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, like, you can tell, I can say this, when's the last time you saw a group of people in suits get turned up?
Yeah.
Not often do you say, you know what, I'm gonna put my suit on and now I'm gonna go get rowdy. Not often.
It's too, and it's more about middle class parents bringing their kids, things like this. It's family atmosphere. I get that. Let kids go free, but there's a different way of getting kids into the game. So, and I mean into the stadium to watch games for free. It doesn't always have to be tagged onto a parent's season ticket or something like that. I don't know. You've lost the edge that gave you the atmosphere. Basically, you have an atmosphere. You know this, man. A real atmosphere on a night out. In a night, if you want an atmosphere, you need a bit of edge, right?
Yeah, sure.
If your night is full of the nicest, sweetest, friendliest people on the planet, you need something just to give it a bit of edge, and then you get real atmosphere. It's all very nice and friendly, and that's great. Brilliant place. Like, I don't know why people bring babies to football matches. They should be turned away at the turnstile, as far as I'm concerned. But
you would think, right? Yeah.
I mean, that thing's about 7 weeks old. What's it doing at Anfield? I mean, what are we doing here, people? I get it. You have a child. Well done. And you can afford to go to Anfield. But you brought your baby, so they'll probably show you on TV. I mean, that's what I think. I'm cynical about that kind of stuff. But I just don't get it. Why are, like, kids, as far as I'm concerned, should be like 11, 12-year-olds going to 10, 11, 12, because that's when you really get imprinted stuff in your head. Start bringing them at that age. Like, what's the point of bringing a 4-year-old? He's never going to remember it. He's not going to remember he was there.
You're probably doing more harm to the child sometimes if they're at certain ages than you are doing good, because unless you're bringing headphones and everything else for them, you might be damaging their ears. It's just because it can get loud.
Dude, exactly. This is what the whole point. You just nailed it right there. If you're doing something, right, and you're choosing to do it, and you're choosing to bring your baby to it, and you need to put ear defenders on your child, don't bring the child. You see them in the front row with those big ear defenders on them. Option 2, don't bring the baby. Like, it's going to damage their hearing. You've literally said that. It's like, yeah, they're getting screamed at. Like, what is wrong with these people? I just don't understand it. And that's why, you don't want a load of people around your baby. Getting drunk and singing songs, basically, because that's what it's about. Going to the football, get drunk, sing songs. Yeah. And don't have a fight afterwards. Back in the day, it used to be, and have a fight afterwards. Now it's, try not to have a fight afterwards.
Yep. So let's see. Let me get through some of these things, because there were some cool little suggestions. JK was saying Galatasaray fans are loud. KJ made a really good shout. He said Lyon and Marseille. I know about Marseille. I definitely know about Marseille and Lyon as well. They have some wild fans. Big up to Cedric, by the way. Big up to Cedric. He's listening as always. He's working hard as always, but he's a loyal Mighty Red. So he definitely tunes in and shows support. JK says on social media, Arsenal fans are the loudest. That's certainly true. Red for Life also mentioned this is Harvey's 100th appearance for LFC. That's pretty crazy, considering how young he is. But this is his 100th appearance. That's great for Harvey, by the way.
He only has one league goal this year.
What's that? Oh,
Harvey. He only has one. No, you don't know. He only has one league goal this year. So, actually, I said I didn't trust him. I didn't back him to score, but someone of his ability, he's probably due a goal. You'd have to say he's due a goal. So he wouldn't be a bad shout for a goal scorer tonight, actually, because he will score again. Like, he's a goal scorer. He can do it. So I was amazed to see he only has one goal, because he has played a fair bit. One goal and 4 assists, I think. But won't be surprised if he scores tonight. Definitely.
Yeah.
And
that's a solid shout, to be honest with you.
Knows how much Klopp Shows you how much Klopp trusts the kid.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. I will agree with that completely.
100 appearances, and a lot of people like win trophies at Liverpool. Would be known as, like, I don't know, does John Aldridge even have 100 appearances in the league for Liverpool? Well, that's not league, I'm sure, but I mean that's a lot. Like, there are people who'd be famous Liverpool players that wouldn't even have 100 appearances.
No, you're right about that. Yeah.
So
yeah. Let's see. There was another one in here. Oh, and Celtic and Glasgow fans are loud. That's they said they're just the loudest. They had the loudest matches. Hylor says. Honestly, also put in here anything. Blah blah blah. blah. It says. Okay, so this is a quote he's saying. He says, Liverpool says, Jurgen Klopp on Mo Salah and Darwin Nunez. He says they couldn't have played tonight. From here, we will see who will be back for Sunday, but that is not important at the moment.
keep the focus on tonight.
You know what Hyler said? Realism, Jared said this to Hyler, which is very interesting because we were talking about loudest fans. He says Klopp has never had to come out and tell the BVB fans to tell them they need to make more noise. That's certainly true. That's certainly, unfortunately, true. I will give you that. He has never really had to come out and tell the yellow wall that they have to step up.
I'm just gonna say, like, you know, the whole never meet your heroes thing.
Mm-hmm.
There will be a lot of people who've come to Anfield in the last, what do we have, 2024? Yeah, in the last, say, 15 years, who will have grown up, maybe 80s, 90s, heard all the stories, and will have been disappointed by the atmosphere if they went to the wrong game. I'm guaranteeing you that. I'm going to guarantee you that. Because Klopp actually did have to come out and say, basically, I don't want to annoy people here, but it will. Klopp kind of had to come out and say, where's our famous atmosphere?
Right.
I know that's the wind-up chant from all the other fans, and everyone sings it up, but it's getting to a point where they have a point, you know, and it takes a lot more to get us going and get us riled up. I mean, it does happen, and the last time it really happened, and I know I talked about Chelsea and the Benitez ones back in the day, but do you remember when we were playing Arsenal and Thingy went through Trent? We were 2-0 down, and the crowd just flipped. The crowd absolutely flipped, and it just went from 4 to 10 straight away, and we just totally took control of that game because Xhaka was thinking, was it Xhaka on Trent? Correct me if I'm wrong, but you remember, you know, someone went in on the bad challenge, thinking this will put us in, and the crowd just went, nah. The crowd was just not we're not having that, and they just started up straight away. The noise,
right?
You know, we can still bring it when we need to, basically, but we do need a bit of sometimes we need something to happen, and that's fair enough. You know,
it's very similar to the Arsenal match. You know, it took Xhaka getting in Trent's face. You know, for
it was Xhaka. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. It just takes that moment. You know, that sparks the crowd. You know, it could be something that's like, you know, it's simple moments like that can actually make the difference. I agree with that completely.
It's like we were talking the band analogy earlier on. It's like, yeah, you go to the concert and, you know, the first 2 songs they play are kind of, you know, good album tracks, but the first time they play one of the hits, that's when the crowd really
when everyone,
takes that, and then they're ready to go. You know, sometimes like I say, it's a back and forth, and the crowd, like, the team will say, like, we feed off the crowd, but we know the crowd feeds off us. You know, I've heard plenty of players say that, yeah, we need to give the fans something to shout about. And when we do, then it's awesome, you know, but the two things go hand in hand because we do something well, they shout more. The more they shout, the more we do well. And it's a snowball effect then.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to be getting into...
But sorry, just one last point. Every single... we're not... Those are things we're doing it down. We're just saying it ain't as elite. And I'll argue anybody that. But what does happen every year is at least once a year, some big-headed opposition player will underestimate it and won't be able to help themselves. And the week before his team are due to play Liverpool Anfield, will start talking. It happens every single year. It hasn't happened yet this year. Maybe before the City game, Rodri will come out and start talking smack, but they always do it. They always do it because they can never help themselves. It's like they send someone out into the firing line and go, "It's your turn to go out and say, actually, you know what? I was never really that impressed by Anfield, and Liverpool aren't that. They're not all that. We're going to smack them up." The Anfield crowd, nah, not what it used to be 20 years ago. Doesn't scare me at all. There's always some guy like that comes out. It usually happens in Europe because we're in the Champions League. You get some guy from a French team who just come out and start talking shit about the Anfield crowd. But it was Arsenal last season, and it's been Arsenal in seasons before too.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with your point. Like, look, this game's important game. I think that if you can't get hyped or get the emotions ready and rocking for this game, then again, I think Jurgen's message, if anything, was you don't need to be here. You know, you don't need to be here. You know, we need people that are going to get this team over the line, root them on, motivate them, make not sit there and just like kind of like ooh and all at the fact they're at Anfield, or just sit there and try and network with some other guy in a suit or some other lady in a suit or dress. You know, we need you devoted and committed to the effort of making sure this team feels the energy, can, you know, really funnel it into a performance. So yeah, we're about to go live in 7 minutes with the game. I really do appreciate everyone joining me today. I really appreciate Brian for helping me out, giving me the predictions, giving us the updates. Hi, Lord, as well, giving us the little predictions and posts, and you know, the stats as well. And make sure, I know Brian got his internet dropped. He's gonna probably come back in a second here, so make sure he gets an ability or a chance to say thank you and see you at the pitch, I guess. But all the same, appreciate each and every one of you guys. I'll try to get those. I'll try to get a little fin spot in for some of your predictions or whatever. But I am going to be joining BajanRedsTV. Hopefully you will be able to go over. I'm going to see if I can give you the link for BajanRedsTV too, by the way. I'm going to put the link in the chat real quick. Give me 1 second here. 1 second. And yeah, it's going to be a fun time over there. Fun time. I was hoping that Brian was going to be here, but let me put this here. This is the link for BajanRedsTV. If you haven't done so, please do go subscribe or just go check it out. You'll understand that everyone will have a fun time. Rasta, and you have the likes of Chris, and I believe he might be Chris might be joined by Bajan Barnes. I think it might be his daughter, I think possibly joining. I'm not certain, but all the same, it's going to be a fun little exchange. Let's get this win, guys. Plain and simple. Let's get this win. All the belts, as Honestly said. All the belts. Let's get all these belts. Hashtag Europa Quad. All right. I'm going to sign off, I guess, for Brian. I know Brian wants to say certainly thank you. And good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are logging in from in the world. And yeah, if you can, hop on over to BajanRedsTV. If not, if you're going to the game, have fun, enjoy, make that noise, bring that atmosphere. If you're going to your local boozer, or you're just going to watch at home or listen at work, wherever you're doing, be sure to make sure you take care of yourself, continue to take care of others, and know that you'll never walk alone. Liberal 12th Man will always be there with you. Appreciate each and every one of you guys, and we will see you soon. Take care, guys.